Up next is SMU and head coach Sonny Dykes. SMU is 2-3 overall, 1-0 in the American Athletic Conference. Mustangs played this past Saturday against Houston Baptist. SMU won the game 63-27. SMU is on the road this week with Saturday's game at UCF. Game will be 7 Eastern, 6 Central on ESPNU. Coach, thank you for joining us on the call today. If you take a minute to tie up the game against Houston Baptist, what do you expect to see as you head to Orlando to face UCF on Saturday, please?
Yeah, it's good to get a win. I think anytime you can win a football game, that's a good thing. It's hard to do, especially, we've played a really tough non-conference schedule. I think we're getting ready to play, our third-ranked opponent. We played TCU, who was ranked, and Michigan, who was ranked, and now Central Florida, who's in the top 25 as well. So, we've had a tough schedule, and this was a game that we needed. We were able to play a lot of players, a lot of young guys. I think we had 6 players that scored, their first career touchdown for us. And so, we're just such a young football team and a team that's trying to come together, and we're showing some signs of improving. And so I was pleased with our guys. I thought we, had the right mindset in the game. Made a lot of mistakes. We turned the ball over a couple of times, which we can't do. And, our kickoff coverage was bad, really bad. And so we got to get that addressed and fixed. But thought we did some good things, and it's nice to get a win and making some progress.
Any questions for Coach Sonny Dykes, please? Star 1 on your telephone keypad to join the queue, then the operator will introduce you.
We'll go to Trace Triclo with Nightline.
Hello, Coach. UCF head coach Josh Heupel and some players after the Pittsburgh game expressed some displeasure with Pittsburgh with some flops that seem to try and disrupt the flow of the game. What do you think when a team employs that sort of strategy?
I couldn't hear part of your question. I'm sorry. Can you say it again?
Yeah, after the Pittsburgh game, UCF head coach Josh Heupel and some of the players expressed some frustration with Pittsburgh with some flops and questionable injury situations that seem to disrupt the flow of the game for the UCF offense. What do you think when a team employs that sort of strategy to disrupt the other team's offensive flow?
Yeah, I can't speak, specifically to that. I don't really know much about that situation. That's been something that we've dealt with through the years. We've been a team really that started playing with tempo all the way back in, probably 2007 or 2008. And so, that's been an issue. Like I said, I don't know. I can't speak specifically to Pittsburgh's situation at all. But, sometimes that happens, and there's really, we've had a lot of discussion about it through the years. There's really just not much you can do about it. I think that the number one thing always has to be player safety. And so, I think you always have to give the player the benefit of the doubt. And so, it's tough for the officials to determine, what's a real injury and what's not. And that's a hard thing for those guys to sort through. And so, I think it's been something that's been, it's been happening for a while. And again, I don't know that this is what happened in that case, but, not much really you can do about it.
How does your defense match up against UCF's high-flying offense?
Well, I mean, they're obviously really good. I mean, I think Mackenzie Milton's, one of the top 2 or 3 quarterbacks in college football. You just look at his production, and then you look at his record. And I think those are really the 2 things that you judge quarterbacks by, and look at their leadership. And I think those are really the 3 things. And, I think it's hard to question his ability to win. I think they've won 17 straight now, have the nation's longest winning streak. The numbers don't lie. He can throw the ball. He can run the ball, both, remarkably well. They have a lot of skill, returning a lot of speed. I think that's the thing that stands out when you turn the film on. It's just how many guys they have that can really run, and there's just a lot of them. There's, you go, well, you see somebody else and who really stands out on film, and you go, well, who's this guy? And then there's another guy that you go, wow, this guy's really fast. Who's this guy? And so they've got a lot of speed, and in college football today and pro football and high school football, quarterback play is so important, and experience is so important at that position. And somebody that knows how to operate the offense and knows how to win football games, that doesn't make mistakes. And so, again, I think he's certainly one of the top quarterbacks in college football, without a doubt.
Thank you, Coach.
Okay, thank you.
We'll hear from Billy and Body, 24/7 Sports.
Hey, Coach, good morning. Congrats on the win. Was wondering what you thought of some of the younger players like Darren Brown, Shabazz Dotson, Travion Johnson, just kind of the gamut of younger guys you were able to play.
Yeah, it was good. We were able to play a lot of the freshmen, a lot of the true freshmen. And so the good thing is that, you can see those guys starting to improve. I thought Jalen Thomas played, tackle really well. He played the right tackle position for us. He's been a guy, quite frankly, that probably would have played a little bit more. He got a little dinged up in fall camp. It was good to see Shabazz play. I thought he did some good things, and Darren, same thing. And, you just look at our roster and guys that were out there. Trey's somebody who's played in a couple of ball games now and just gets better and better as well. And so, there were times, you looked up and there were, 8 or 9 freshmen out there. And we're encouraged by a lot of those players. And, we think they have a chance to be really good football players. And so it was good to see them have an opportunity to get in the game, to see how they responded and how they reacted. And, again, if you go down and look at the participation reports, we've played 38 before Saturday, and I think we've played like almost 45 now, newcomers to our program, either true freshmen, redshirt freshmen, or transfers. And so, we've got a completely different team, and it's good in a lot of ways, but there's also some growing pains that occur because of it. But it was good to see those guys out there and playing, and I think they're, a lot of them have a really high ceiling, so we're excited about it.
How much did the win over Navy give the team confidence that they can potentially go in and beat a team like a UCF, a team that, has given them trouble for years now?
Well, I think the one thing about UCF is they've kind of given everybody trouble. They've been good. They just have had a good program, and and you go back and look at their history, they had a couple of down years, and that happened to be the time that they kind of came off of SMU's schedule prior to me getting here. But they've had a really good, solid program, and they've obviously had a lot of really good football players that have come through there. They've had really good quarterback play through the years. And when you have the play that they've had at quarterback, with Blake Bortles before and with Mackenzie Milton now, those teams are tough to beat. And so, I think anytime that you can win, and especially, the way the Navy game played out, I think that's good for a young football team, to have to hang in there and to have to battle through some things. And I think it showed some mental toughness, that we're trying to build. So we're making progress. Central Florida will be a whole different animal, just a completely different type of team than Navy is. Navy does what they do so well, and Central Florida's got a different philosophy. I mean, they're going to be completely different, wide open and tons of speed and get the ball in space. And so it'll be a big challenge for us. But, I do think our guys are starting to get some confidence, and I hope that we can get on the road and play well. I think we will.
Thanks.
Okay, thank you.
Time for one more for Coach Dykes, please.
All right, Leo Haggerty with ITS Sports Magazine.
Good morning, Coach.
Morning.
Coach, more of a citizenship question than a football question. With the elections coming up in November, do you feel a responsibility to encourage your players to register and vote?
Oh, yeah, I think so. I mean, I think that part of our responsibility with mentoring young people is to encourage them to become involved in everything. I think that they need to be advocates for change, socially, if that's what they want to try to do. I think that's part of our responsibility is to educate them and about their influence that they have as college athletes. and how important it is to make sure that they are influenced in the correct ways. And so, yeah, I mean, I think that it's certainly something we haven't talked about up to this point, but it's something that we will talk about. Obviously, we're not going to get involved in politics or any of that kind of stuff, or who they should vote for or what they should do. But I think we want to encourage every single one of them individually to be an activist for whatever it is that they believe in, whether we agree with it or not. And so I think that's our role as mentors for young people, is to encourage them to be active and to get involved and to take advantage of the platform that they have.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck this weekend.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate it.
We appreciate your time today. We look forward to hearing from you once again next Monday.